The NFL Combine is complete, which means more mock drafts for all of us. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and today we are doing a live mock draft for the Minnesota Vikings. What do I mean by live? We will be role playing as the front office for Minnesota throughout the entire mock draft simulator. So be sure to leave a comment, let us know your thoughts on these selections, and while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and tackle that bell to get notified when new videos come out. So Ryan, Minnesota Vikings are on the clock on pick 24. Let's quickly just roll up a couple of spots here. So Josh Simmons going to the Buccaneers, Mecca Igbukwe to the Broncos, Mike Green to the Steelers, Derek Harmon to the Chargers, and then Darius Alexander to the Green Bay Packers. So sitting here as of right now, and I will say this just real quick, even before we get into the spot, is this is definitely a trade back spot. Like one of the more
Yeah.
obvious
Oh,
ones.
yeah.
This one in Atlanta, I think, are very obvious trade back spots. The issue I see for Minnesota is it's just they're going to have to hope that a team like teams can go trade up for him, but it's not like this is last year's draft class where you're still finding some gems like Terry and Arnold or guys that are still on the board like Quinion Mitchell or Cooper DeJean or some of these guys that you
Yeah.
could go get later on as well. Like that'd be worth trading up and sacrificing day 2 or day 3 pick for. So that's what I'm just going to be curious on how the Vikings and the teams behind them navigate this draft based off who's available. Here, though, we're not going to be doing any trades, and so to me, I'm looking at defensive line. I am looking at guys that can kick in the guard, really help out that interior. Running back is a very serious option, like sitting there. Omari Hampton, Aaron Jones is free agent. Cam Akers is also free agent. Just not even worry about it, and just get your starting running back for the next 4 to 5 years with Omari and Hampton. I think could be a very serious route that they go.
Yeah, no, I think they could definitely do that. And then also too, Gray Zabel, if they want to go we can find a running back in round 3 or 4, and just solidify the interior of our offensive line here with Gray Zabel. You have Christian Darrisaw coming back from injury. I forget the name of their right tackle off the top of my head, but he's been really solid as well. And
Brian
so
O'Neill.
yeah, Brian O'Neill. And so I think that they could go that route as well. I do think like a Walter Nolan might be interesting, like a I don't say undersized defensive tackle, but like a pass rushing defensive tackle who's just
Yeah,
going to be really
I see what you're
stout.
talking about. Yeah.
Uh, would be interesting.
I think all these picks wouldn't be wrong. To me, why I guess I'm focusing in on the running back spot is when they get to 97, that next wave of running backs is going to be gone. The Caleb
Yeah,
Johnsons,
that's
Dylan
fair.
Sampsons, Quentin Judkins, Travion Henderson, even Cam Scatterboo is
Oh,
going to be gone.
and
And
I know you're not playing 7-on-7 in the NFL. You need the trenches, but could you imagine you have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jalen Naylor, TJ Hawkinson, and then you put Amari and Hampton back there? I mean, that is top 3, if not the best skill position group in the league. Because
yeah,
if there's one thing that the NFL has gotten really good at, projecting running backs to the next level is probably the best position that the NFL is at scouting. And Omari and Hampton, by almost all metrics, is going to be a really, really, really good running back in the NFL.
yeah. So I think that's the route we should go. I'm very
Uh,
curious on Vikings fans, and it's more just because I love to wait on running backs because there's other needs. But at the same time, though, too, sitting here at 97, let's see what centers are available. But like there are centers that you can go
mhm.
and get to help out, or interior offensive linemen that you can help out and that could potentially provide a lot of starting minutes here. Like we'll have to see where Jared Wilson goes, but that I think would be like my next spot as
Actually,
well.
I think he made it. Tate Ratledge is here.
Yeah, he's right there.
He did.
I just saw him. So that to me could be around if you want to address that center spot and get that interior offensive line
Yeah.
bolstered up as well. He's the best center in this class. If I'm looking at
Yeah.
free agents then too as well. Like they could maybe even make some moves, but in general, just I think improve on that spot just as a whole. And so curious to hear Vikings fans there. I think that's the route that I'm going,
Let's
and,
go.
and
Let's
I'm
go,
leaning
Jared
to.
Wilson. Just because
Okay.
we can't really project whether or not they'll like sign a center or not. But in this case scenario, if so, like let's say they sign a center that they really like in free agency, take Tate Ratledge and put him at guard. Like
Yeah, or
it's kind
Willie
of
Lumpkin or
yeah.
one of those guys. Just get that offensive line, especially on the interior, much better.
Yeah. No, I agree, especially too, more than likely, JJ McCarthy is gonna be the starting quarterback for the Vikings this upcoming season. So,
Yeah.
you have your 2 tackles, solidify that interior, and, give him as much protection as possible. So, kicking off the 5th round here, maybe defensive interior is the way to go. We've done running back, and then, offensive lineman as well. So
I like
I
that.
feel like we could, look on the defensive side of the ball. I do think one of my favorite fits here is Ty Robinson to the Vikings, just because he can be that 5 technique that Brian Flores would absolutely love. But I do think maybe there's a few other guys. Tim Smith is another one, that can play that way. I don't know, Junior Tafuna, not sure. Maybe a little bit too big. Uh, yeah, and there's Ty Robinson right there.
Yeah. And I'm not really too concerned about the projections overall, because those fluctuate every day. Howard Cross, when we were doing this last night, I think was
Yeah,
180, and now he's like down to what, 250 or something
240.
like that,
Yeah,
240.
he's another
So
guy that would be a good fit in that as well.
yeah, so I'm down to do that as well. Get a big defensive interior guy, and they're picking a couple picks from now, and then I
Yeah,
think one final area that they could end up going here also if we end up. Do we do Ty
you
Robinson here?
yeah, we can do Ty
Yeah,
Robinson. I didn't know if that's the official,
yeah.
if you were
It's
submitting the ticket officially.
we submitted the ticket here. Um, and so one area that's going to be interesting overall, and we'll get more information on this as the Vikings make certain free agency decisions, but they have some big contract decisions overall to figure out. Like Brian Murphy Jr. is expected to get paid a lot. Cameron Bynum's expected to get paid as well. They have other guys in the secondary that are hitting free agency, and so to me, it's so we'll know if they want to go safety more, if they want to go corner, if they want to go cornerback as more, and I think that's an area of need that they really need to still go out and address. And I think luckily Brian Flores helps them out, helps the secondary out a lot just by a lot of blitzes, a lot of pressures, making it easier for the secondary to kind of make their decisions and to hold their lanes less. But I still think going and trying to find some talent here would be
I
good. You
d
could maybe go Denzel Bork. Is that who you're
Yeah,
looking to say?
yeah, I do like Denzel Burke, I think as a, like, a specific outside corner, especially here, that's good value coming from a pedigree from, from a program like Ohio State that has produced top-tier corners in the NFL. They have also produced some duds, like Shaun Wade, I think is the first one that comes to mind, but, I think Denzel Burke, when used in a system where he can be more aggressive like Brian Flores's, would be a pretty good fit.
Yeah, I like that. Let's do it.
Okay.
Also, he's
Alright.
got that winning mentality coming off national championship.
Yeah. Although I
I'm
still
just
laugh.
joking. I love it when people say that. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do think there's something to be said about, like, success leads to more success, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if
it's fair.
Denzel Burke was the
Yeah.
reason Ohio State won a national championship.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
I
Y
guess when I think of that, I think of like people saying like Tim Tebow's a good quarterback because he knows how to win. And so like that's just where I get that from. And like I don't know,
yeah.
there's a big difference from having one of the better college football teams and rosters overall and being the quarterback and uh then like willing your way to help your team win games like how Tom
Yeah.
Brady does or like how Joe Burrow does or Mahomes, for example.
Yeah.
But
No,
that's
and
a
I agree.
separate conversation here. So with just 4 picks, I, I think one thing I wish we would have quickly done is just see what running backs were available at pick 97 because kind of to my I think
Yeah.
immediately like all the top running backs or that big next wave of running backs that would be worth taking that I think would start for the Vikings are gone. And I think Omari Hampton is worth it. I think Omari Hampton, we'd be talking about a potential top 20 pick if it wasn't for Ashton Genty, and maybe he still could be a top 20 pick as well. So we'll have to wait and see. But
Yeah.
so I like that. You go get Jared Wilson, and Wilson could also potentially kick in the guard as well for the time being. Do something similar to what the Eagles did, where like you get Cam Jurgens, and he's just going to be your starting left guard until you move on from somebody or somebody else retires, like how Jason Kelsey did, then you kick him in there to be that center. And then everybody else then too as well, I think just fitting good positional needs.
Yeah, no, I do as well. I mean, with only 4 picks, there's only so much you can do. Even like so I did a trade one time. I think it was like the Patriots going from 38 to 24. I think the Patriots gave up like a third and then a sixth or a fifth or a sixth at that point. And it's like so you could add a couple more picks there, making a move like that, but that's going back 14 spots.
Yeah.
And giving up that fifth year control on that rookie deal. So I definitely think there are certain ways that they could add more picks, but I think this is just going to be a slower year in the draft for the Minnesota Vikings. But
Yep.
with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on what you thought of this Vikings 7-round mock draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you have done differently? Than that, we'll see you guys next time.